Well, welcome everybody to Final Approach to Game Day. It's the off season, but that doesn't mean we're not working on football. I'm here with head coach of the Walton Braves, Jay Lindsay. Coach, how are you doing today?
Man, I'm good. It's the second day, somewhat of summer. We gave the kids a week off, but still got some kids out here just working on the free time. Actually, got about 5 or 6 of our players playing college right now in here getting a workout. So that's always knowing you're building something special whenever guys come back, whenever they have a little break and they're working.
Yeah, so last season, just to recap really quickly, you guys went 4-7, but I was really impressed by some of these close losses you had. I mean, y'all played the Bay Tornadoes to within 6 points. You had a 14-point loss to South Walton, who had an electric offense last year. And that was like we were talking offline, really from a rebuilding season. You have a bunch of guys coming back this year, a bunch of excellent offensive talent. But really, I was impressed by your defensive mettle last year. Can you talk a little bit about what's going to be the same and what's going to change here in 2026?
Yeah, I think as far as foundation and where our program is and expectations, that's of course there. We built a winning tradition. That's our job to elevate it. So I mean, the work ethic, man, we've had as good as off season I can have. I know that's coach talk. I mean, I've been very pleased. This is the first time I've went into spring practice where we practiced 16 days, and I don't feel like we had one bad day out of 16. We're about to hit 6 weeks into summer hard. So, I mean, the excitement's there, but I think everyone's excited right now. It starts counting. So our job is to put ourselves in position, to win a district championship and continue the tradition and elevate what makes Walton High School special. A little bit about last year, man. The biggest thing I could think of was just how we finished the year. I think we finished it strong. We went on a losing streak, and it was tough times. And man, whenever you face adversity and you get hit in the mouth a little bit, you really find out your true character. And the way our team bounced back, we played our best football towards the end of the year. A lot of people would have shut it down. Where our kids continued to go to work today, continued to believe in what we were doing, and I think it showed towards the end of the year, and it's something to build off of coming into this season.
Yeah, and I mean, what would you say that you guys are building? Because I've been really excited by the way you guys have played. I see you guys as a defense first team, even though you've had really good offenses the last couple of years when you were an assistant. Where do you see this team playing like this coming year?
Well, I'm still an offensive guy, but then defense wins championships. I don't think that does change things. I think offense wins a lot of games. But as an offensive guy, I expect us to still play fast. We want to score as many points as we possibly can. I think last year, replacing all 11 starters on the offensive side of the ball, we had to, try to keep games somewhat low scoring. And we have a great defensive staff that put in great game plans and kids to play hard. But we got to score points in order to win a lot of games. So I expect that to change. I expect the scoreboard to have a lot more points this year from our offense. And defensively, our job is to just in games where we're struggling offensively to play good defensively, create turnovers, be sound, be disciplined. Put ourselves in position to win. But I expect, from a talent standpoint, our whole offensive line's back. Our whole skill besides one receiver's back. So I do expect from a point standpoint for us to score a lot of points. And defensively, I expect us to be disciplined and sound and play hard and get out of football.
And so I just want to bring up y'all's schedule because I think it says a lot about what you guys are trying to do here as a program. You kept South Walton on the schedule this year, even though they moved up to 3A. Destin's a new school in your district, I believe. And then you have Catholic playing ball right there at the end of the season at Catholic, which is always a really hard game. But some of these non-conference games are really interesting too. I like that y'all have West Florida and Arnold and Fort Walton Beach on the schedule. I mean, those are bigger schools than y'all.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a good balance. As us being 2A, but then we continue to grow. We're no longer a rural school, so I think you do have to play up because as I hope, and Walton County, man, such a great county to work for, and such a great education for students to get into, and it's so lucrative to where I think we're going to continue to grow. So I think you have to play up because that's going to be your competition in the next 3 or 5 years as we continue to grow. And if you want to be a premier program, you got to play talent. But then at the same time, as a smaller school, we're dressing around 35 or so kids to where you do have to have some situations in there to where you're just not beat down week in, week out. But then at the same time, man, right off the gate, it's a very, very competitive schedule. It's a competitive district. It's something we're looking forward to. I've always been a Nick Saban type guy where you focus on the process. You don't necessarily, worry about who you're playing. As long as you do things the right way, the score will take care of itself. But then at the same time, you want to play competition, because in order to make a run in the playoffs, I believe we have one of the toughest regions in the entire state of Florida, and to beat people that you want to beat, in order to make a little bit of run, you have to play some tough games.
Yeah, and so I think that one of the things that I love to ask coaches is, what are you most excited about? What for lack of a better term, how will you define success this year? Like if you do X, Y, or Z, what is success?
Man, I'll tell you what. As a competitor, it's winning every ball game. You don't want to lose. At the same time, man, win at home. Give our community, give people to decide about, this is our home turf. Of course, a district championship. I think that's where you set the bar. Why are you playing if you're not trying to win a district championship? And then at some point down the line, hey, you want to be playing during Thanksgiving. That means you're playing for a regional championship. So those are the transactional goals. Of course, from a transformation standpoint, as a coach, you don't know the success until 20 years from now. John Wooden used to say it all the time. Tell them, whenever people ask about success, he said, ask me in 20 years to see where, these players are from 20 years from now. So at the same time, we want to develop these kids to be, fine young men one day and contribute in our society in a positive way. So it's all about development. As I've gotten older, man, I focus on these kids and making them the best they can possibly be. And in the process, I want to make Walton High School the best school that we can possibly be, and one of the premier schools in the entire state of Florida. And I think, athletics have a huge part of that. Look at the college game. People go to college because they attend college because they want to be a part of that experience. And we have to build that experience here at Walton.
Very good. Well, Coach Jay Lindsay, I know you guys got plenty of stuff to take care of in the off season. What's one thing you're going to be focusing on?
Just coming together as a team. I think we have talent. I think we have right places. Everyone has a little bit of deficiencies, but those kids got to continue to develop. I've always been raised and taught, that this is a developmental game. So I'm all about developing players to be the best they can be. So, towards the end of the year, man, towards the end of someone's career, I don't want to have a towel. Whenever you squeeze a towel, there's just drenched. I want to be able to squeeze it and there's nothing left. So getting the absolute most out of these kids and out of this coaching staff, and regardless of where the season went, we can sit down at a banquet and say, hey, we went as far as we can go. We can do the best we can do, and what a great experience. And then hopefully give these kids that poured their heart out for this program and for these coaches, that are going to have a good year, give them an opportunity to play at the next level. I do believe we hang our hat on that, to where I have good assistant coaches that's coached at that level. As a coach, man, I've coached probably over 100 college athletes. So I think, this year I would like to have some of our kids have that opportunity. That's something we hang our hat on. But in order to do that, you do have to produce. So production's, everything.
All right. Well, Coach Jay Lindsay, he's going to be leading the Walton Braves into 2026, their first game, August 21st against West Florida Tech. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you real soon.
Absolutely. Appreciate it. Thank you.